right now on 5 on your side at 10.
HIV cases on the rise.
We want to make sure that we're prepared for the future. And, HIV, babies, those are things that can impact your future. But we want to make sure that you're educated.
The alarming new data and how one group is spreading awareness about getting tested.
Starting off well below freezing and well below 30 in some cases in our area this morning, but it won't be that cold this week. How cold it gets and why we're going to see a pattern shift for at least just a few days.
But first, the viral video of a vicious brawl that left a 15-year-old girl in critical condition. The fight that neighbors say is part of a decades-long trend. The video is brutal and graphic, and now it's gone viral. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush. Another teen is in police custody after this fight near Hazelwood East High School. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski talked with neighbors who say fights like this are actually nothing new for their block.
Mike, neighbors told me off camera for years Hazelwood East students will take their problems off campus and into their neighborhood simply because they're so close to the school. St. Louis County Police say on Friday afternoon around 2:30 they were called out to break up a fight happening in the intersection of Norgate and Claudine Drive. A neighbor shared security camera footage of the fight but wanted to remain anonymous for their own safety. In their video, you can see this large group of teens gather in the street. This is just moments before punches are thrown. There is also cell phone video from another angle that's gone viral on social media sites. On Twitter, St. Louis County Prosecutor Wesley Bell reposted it, saying his office has no jurisdiction because it's a juvenile court matter. It shows two girls fighting. You can see the first few frames here, but due to the graphic nature, we'll not be showing the full clip. Later in the video, one girl's head gets slammed into the ground. Police say that girl suffered a severe head injury and is still in the hospital. Neighbors say off-camera fights between Hazelwood East students have been happening on their street for years, and it's made them consider increasing security measures. The Urban League tries to help teens get away from lives of violence, but says a lot of neighborhoods are often resource deserts.
And when you have a lack of resources, then you can pretty much predict the outcomes. What you see, what we witness on that video is an example of what happens when individuals don't have nurturing environments in which they grow up in.
Their Vice President of Public Safety, James Clark, says helping these teens is an uphill battle because of social media.
There is a new level of socially ill behaviors that become normalized on social media.
Clark says these bad examples are all over Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
And we know that our young people are literally caught up in a cesspool of negative behavior, where negative behavior is actually glamorized.
Police say on Saturday they arrested a 15-year-old girl who they believe is involved, and she's now facing assault charges. The Hazelwood School District posted a statement about the incident on Facebook, offering condolences to those involved. It reads in part, "Bullying and fighting in the community is an issue for which we all need to take ownership and work towards a resolution for the sake of our children." St. Louis County Police asked anyone with information to call 636-529-8210 to speak with investigators.
And nearly 50% of American schools have seen an increase in fighting, according to the National Center for Education Statistics. The Urban League says solutions will take a lot of listening to young people and those who need the most support.
Because the social pressure is to be socially dysfunctional. Who can be the loudest? Who can be the most disruptive? Too often we set programs based on what honor roll students want and what honor roll students need. We've got to be able to go deep into the bowels.
The league offers help to juvenile offenders through their Reroute program, which includes school visits, help in court, neighborhood engagement, and more. A 4-year-old child is dead after being struck by a car in St. Louis's Bevo neighborhood. This happened around 5:30 this afternoon. Police say the driver was heading eastbound on Taft when the child ran out into the street. There is no indication that the car was speeding, according to investigators, and they're calling this an accident with terrible timing. The driver stayed on the scene. Accident reconstruction is still investigating. We've seen a rise in cases among women testing positive for HIV. Today, though, local healthcare workers held an event to raise awareness. New tonight, 5 on your side's Annie Krall joins us in studio after learning that women are especially vulnerable. Annie?
Well, this afternoon's event in Midtown, hosted by Affinia Healthcare, came together after they recognized a big problem of people not getting HIV tested. The latest report from St. Louis's health department says most people in the city living with HIV are men, but about 21% are female, especially women of color.
Sunday's trivia, buffet, and free HIV testing, hosted by Affinia Healthcare at Rogue Bistro, trying to raise awareness and answer questions to do with
cost. Is it expensive? Is it not expensive? Is it something that I can afford? What am I supposed to do if this is the case? What can I do? Is it the case? Is it a life sentence? Is it not?
The CDC says HIV is the initial viral infection, treatable with medications, and can mean a long and healthy life for someone. It may take years or never happen, where the final, more serious immune suppressing stage occurs. Knowing your status is crucial, especially for Black men and women who have the highest rates of HIV in the city as of 2021.
So that they're aware of their status. A lot of people just don't come in to get the testing, and this gives us the opportunity to come out into the community to meet them where they are to get the testing done.
They brought 50 HIV tests and administered a dozen in the first hour. It's a mouth swab with results in 10 minutes. Affinia recommends talking to kids as young as 13 or getting them tested if a parent or adult thinks they may be sexually active. Local mom Sonia Deal started educating her 3 boys at 8 and 10 years old.
Always in the company of parents. Say, you know, how far do you want us to go with this conversation? And I think we started with the medical dictionary, showing them, you know, your bodies are getting ready to change, you're getting ready to go through puberty.
HIV awareness events expected at Rogue Bistro every few months now.
It's an honor. We truly appreciate it. I grew up always aware of HIV. I had family that was positive, so I know steps, and it's very important.
Just this week, HIV vaccine researchers have renewed hopes with preliminary results from 2 different studies. After 20 years of failures, one uses neutralizing antibodies, the other encouraging a person's immune system to make their own, though neither is likely to be widely available until the 2030s. Mike?
Annie, thanks. Well, we've got meteorologist Gary Frank here with our weather first forecast, and a warm-up is on the way.
Yeah, we're getting there. And, you know, after this morning, it was awfully cold in some spots in the 20s. The first time we've had that in a while. But I do want to point out overall that it's quiet as we head into the overnight hours. And another clear night keeps the lack of cloud cover and that insulator that we've had. The key for us is going to be a shift in wind direction as temperatures are above freezing at Edwardsville and Alton right now, but they won't stay that way for long. But notice on the Missouri side, across the river, you're in the upper 30s and even low 40s in some cases. That is the change in air mass. That's what we're going to see overnight. So I do think that there's still another chilly night ahead, but we've got another warm-up that's going to feel more like spring. And it's not going to be the warmest we've seen for the last few weeks, but it's coming. There will be a few rain chances that we mix in, but tonight above freezing in the city by a few degrees. Outside of the city, it will be just a little bit cooler. But the key for us is the wind. It's out of the south as we continue to see our wind pick up a little bit more tomorrow. It's going to help us warm up. How high we get tomorrow and why it's just the start of a few days as we get close to 80 before things change over the next few.
All right, Gary. It's called the Radioactive Exposure Compensation Act, which will help local victims exposed to radiation by the federal government. It recently passed in the Senate, but it's likely to face a challenge in the House. Missouri Congresswoman Ann Wagner said in a recent Twitter post that she will do what she can to get RECA passed and that she's adding it to the House Appropriations Bill. Senator Josh Hawley said he hopes every House member, especially ones from St. Louis, would support it.
Sounds like we're moving in the right direction there, but there need to be no excuses, no delays from anybody. You know, I've talked to the Speaker of the House about this multiple times before. I'm going to talk to every House member who will listen to me. The Senate now has done its part. The House needs to get on it, and I would just hope that folks from here in the St. Louis area would be major champions of this.
Hawley also said President Biden made an official statement saying he would sign the bill. RECA will expire in June. Congresswoman Wagner says it must be passed by March 22nd. Coming up, old dogs, new beginnings.
We are put on this earth to help those who need help, and they don't have a voice.
How animal lovers in High Ridge are giving their senior dogs and cats a second chance at life.
As one storm exits off to the east, we're left behind with clear skies like we had today, but it's the storms off to the west, how they're going to impact us and when we'll see temperatures near 80 degrees yet again this week.
Making a Difference is sponsored by Midwest Bank Center.
Now to a story about transformation and hope in High Ridge, Missouri. In tonight's Making a Difference report, the extraordinary work of some volunteer animal lovers determined to rewrite the stories of senior pets. Off a two-lane highway in High Ridge, Missouri, is a sanctuary where endings are transformed into new beginnings. This is the Second Chance Ranch,
Thatcher,
a haven for senior dogs and cats.
We've got some dogs that are here because their owners passed and nobody in the family wants to keep them. Or we have dogs that are in animal control that need a place to go or they'll be euthanized. Hold on, you're not finished.
After a decade rescuing animals,
Give me a kiss.
Tracy Rumpf launched the ranch 3 years ago,
And meals are ready for tonight.
aiming to rewrite the story for senior pets.
I think that we live in a very disposable world. You get a little too old, people dismiss you, and I definitely saw that happening with the dogs.
Dogs like Charlotte, who was abandoned in a field with a broken back, and Kaya,
You're good. I know.
a 7-year-old husky with diabetes who was neglected and lost her sight.
Yeah, you're good. We want to give them the best life they can, and the goal is to nurse them all back to health and then get them adopted into a loving home.
Archie does the little prance, and then his little ears flop.
Running this place requires more than just a handful of helpers.
Such a good girl.
It takes a dedicated army of compassionate animal lovers.
There are no employees. There are no paid employees. Every dime that is donated goes to the animals.
Did you go outside and enjoy your day?
Tammy Knapmiller has been volunteering since the doors opened.
Why do you come back every day?
Because I love being here. It's my comfort place.
More than 80 regular volunteers ensure the pets are fed,
There you go.
given their medicine,
There you go.
therapy,
Go get it.
and most importantly, love.
Our goal is to get them healthy. Our adoption rate is at about 80%. So 80% of the dogs who come in here, we find them forever families.
Oh, Freckle.
To date, the ranch has cared for more than 340 dogs and cats.
Come here, baby. Come on. Come here.
And remember Charlotte, who has a broken back? She's starting to walk again.
Now you've got an action shot.
And Kaya?
That's a good girl.
Well, Tracy worked with specialists at the University of Missouri and arranged lens replacement surgery.
Come on over, sweetie.
And she can see again.
When you see them come in and they're just broken, completely broken, and then they become Charlotte. She can walk. You know, they become Kaya. She can see. That's just brings me joy.
Every resident here might have a past marred by neglect, but now they have a future brightened by kindness.
We are put on this earth to help those who need help, and they don't have a voice, and we do, and we need to be theirs.
Good girl.
The Second Chance Ranch, where aging dogs and cats find refuge,
Get that toy, Thatcher.
reminding us that compassion has no expiration date.
They have a place in your heart.
If you would like to donate to the ranch or volunteer, we can link you to their website when you go to this story on our website. And a reminder, if you know an inspiring person or someone making a difference for others, let me know by email at mbush@ksdk.com. Well, today, Florissant was decked out in green for an early St. Patrick's Day celebration. Here's a look at its third annual St. Patrick's Day Parade, 5K run, and Irish Festival, hosted by the Society for St. Patrick's Day. At noon, that parade made its way down St. Francis Street. And the Irish Festival wrapped up just a few hours ago at 6 o'clock. If you're looking for more St. Patty's Day fun, Dogtown's annual celebration is happening next Sunday, and 5 on Your Side will be streaming that event live on the 5+ app. Let's take a live look now at Florissant. A lot quieter tonight, and it looks like it's going to get warmer as we round out our last full week of winter. Gary Frank is back with our Weather First forecast. It's amazing to see what kind of temperatures we're going to have later this week.
Yeah, we go up and down all the time, right? And we know better than to say that we either turn the corner, it seems like this time of the year, we either go from 86 to 50 or 50 to 90, and then we stay at 90. And I think we're going to get a nice mix of all of those, minus the 90, but we'll get closer to it than we have been in recent days. We start off this morning in St. Charles, and tonight in St. Charles. It was cold, and it's chilly right now, even as we look down Market Street. The wind is really calm. It's 43 degrees right now, and we got to 56 today, so pretty close to average in the morning and the afternoon. We just don't have too many average days on the way this week, though. And I know that tomorrow you're going to wake up, and it's probably going to be dark versus what happened the last few mornings. And this is kind of an artificial daylight thing, but we're still gaining 2.5 minutes of daylight per day ahead. And what you'll really notice tomorrow morning, as we wake up, 7:17 our sunrise. It's 7:08 in a week, it's 6:31 in a month, and it's 5:53 in a couple of months. So it's going to change a lot. We still are actually gaining daylight. But I want to look at the difference between the two air masses. And one of the reasons the Metro East is cooler at this point versus Columbia, versus Kansas City, and of course in central Kansas and into Nebraska, it's all a part of the changing air mass and the changing wind direction that we're going to see. And that's going to make a big difference, I think, overnight and especially over the next couple of days. So we'll stay around 36 in the city, around freezing or maybe upper 20s outside of the city. But notice where we're in the mid-30s, Herman, Gasconade County, Rolla, and Salem. That's where that warmer air mass and that wind shifts just a little sooner. That's going to make a difference for you tomorrow morning. But still, 39, once the wind picks up out of the southwest, we're in the low 60s at noon. Wind's going to make a difference for us tomorrow as we're close to 70 degrees. We do see that wind as a factor with a southwest breeze at 15 to 25. And tomorrow's wind will stay in that same direction on Tuesday morning. So once again, these cold mornings are not going to be with us for about another week or so as we remain with that south breeze. And I think Tuesday is one of the breezier days. We got gusts over 30 miles an hour possible, but we're still staying dry. It's going to help warm us up. As far as rain chances are going, I think Wednesday overall is pretty dry, but we are going to see a front that impacts us on Thursday. Notice it doesn't look like much. It's going to bring our temperatures down, fire up a few isolated or scattered thunderstorms, but not a widespread rain for some of us yet again. And that's going to be a trend that continues as we stay warm and dry. I do want to look ahead to next maybe Saturday, Sunday, depending on timing, because I think we are going to see a few changes. And you'll notice how this cold air really wants to dive down by Saturday into Sunday. So if you're looking for that day to be maybe extremely warm, I don't know about that. Potential rainfall over the next few days is probably once again less than impressive. And I think the 10-day forecast shows that we go to the mid to upper 70s through Thursday before that front arrives. And next Sunday doesn't look all that bad overall, but it does look like we're going to see some pretty nice ups and downs with another week before we're below freezing.
It's Paul Cook. I'm your traffic guy on Today in St. Louis each morning. We're on the move in Jefferson County, where MoDOT is kicking off its plan for improvements to the Interstate 55 corridor. MoDOT's team and Jefferson County community members gathered in Herculaneum on Friday to celebrate plans for the $246 million project. Along with adding a third lane to I-55 from Route Z to US 67, the project will remove traffic bottlenecks along the corridor. It'll also improve safety and reliability on both I-55 and US 67. Around 70,000 drivers travel that 12-mile section of the interstate in Jefferson County daily. Interchanges at Route Z, McNutt Road, and US 67 will be replaced with new improved interchanges designed to handle more traffic. Another big change, the project replaces 14 bridges and rehabs another 12 bridges on that stretch of interstate. So a really busy time for Missouri's Department of Transportation. In the past couple of months, it's announced major projects on 70, 270, and now another one south on 55. So as always, change is guaranteed. Pack your patience when you get behind the wheel. Paul Cook, 5 on your side.
A presidential showdown in Georgia. A look at what Joe Biden and Donald Trump had to say during weekend rallies. Tonight, the first dueling rallies for the presidency in battleground Georgia. President Biden in Atlanta with former President Donald Trump 70 miles away in Rome. President Biden's Georgia visit comes on the heels of a State of the Union speech supporters hailed as energetic and fiery. And it was Mr. Trump's first time in Georgia since being booked at the Fulton County Jail, accused of scheming to overturn the 2020 election. He mocked the State of the Union address, while the president questioned the company Trump keeps.
Here's the guy who's kicking off his general election campaign on the road up with Marjorie Taylor Greene. It can tell you a lot about a person who he keeps company with.
Joe Biden gave the most divisive, partisan, radical, and extreme speech ever delivered by a president in that chamber, not even close.
Georgia is one of 4 states holding its presidential primary or caucus on Tuesday. Evacuation underway for Americans in Haiti. Tonight, the U.S. military airlifted non-essential embassy employees there amidst a surge of gang violence in the country. Years of political violence came to a boiling point last weekend when attacks at the capital, Port-au-Prince, set free thousands of criminals from prisons there. A state of emergency was issued in Haiti, and it's been extended to next month. Now the UN is saying about 5 million people need humanitarian aid. Companies like American, Spirit, and JetBlue Airlines are pausing flights in and out of the country. Some of Hollywood's best honored tonight at the Academy Awards, and we've got a look at one of the nominees with some St. Louis ties. It's one of the biggest nights in the movie industry, the Oscars, and one actor was repping St. Louis. Sterling K. Brown snagged a nomination for Best Supporting Actor in American Fiction. It's his first ever Academy Award nomination. While he lost the trophy to Robert Downey Jr. for his performance in Oppenheimer, Brown says it's an honor to be recognized at such a high level. American Fiction received 4 other nominations, including Best Adapted Screenplay, and the movie did win that award. Oppenheimer won Best Picture. And there you have it, 5 on your side at 10. Don't forget to start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. And now, here's Frank Cusimano with Sports Plus.